So as always, timestamps exist in case you just want to skip forward, but man, I had to sit around. And yes, I'm sitting on full TP. Full RP doesn't really matter as much. I know some trainers don't really care about time trials, but I figure I might as well do it as we start round 2 here. And yes, I am a little late regardless, but just to glance over this part. So yeah, it was weird because in that video I did with my first entry, we won 0 times, and then I proceeded to win 4 times in a row on my next entry, which means, oh man, this is going to be a weird round. But at least that means even with a 20-30% win rate, you can upgrade as long as if you lose 15 races in 3 entries, but you get 1 entry where you win 5 times in a row, then hey, everything's cool, at least in terms of rewards and stuff. But obviously, winning would be great. If you need to look at the stats for the Musume I'm fielding in this Champions Meet, you can see the first video, even though you will be seeing it here and there as well. Just know it's not going to be the focus because we are going to be speeding through this because we know what's going to happen, alright? We know what's going to happen. I'm not prepared. 900 stamina gold chip with just 2 gold recovery or 3 gold recovery skills is bare minimum, and if I get debuffed, the run's over. If I run into a properly built Taishin, the run's over. If I run into any built Musume, I have like an 85% chance of losing minimum. So I think we all understand what's going to happen. The only thing going for us is speed. So that being said, there are a handful of trainers that I've run into in the ones I didn't record where bad things happen. But if we go over towards the actual fan favorite, which seems to be this Naruto Brian, again, any properly built Musume like this one's gonna probably slam me out of the park. Unless, of course, I don't proc. The only thing going for me here is that long S versus acceleration question mark. But it says velocity, so I'm gonna assume it's velocity. But you get the point. It's not looking good for me. I have to get really lucky, and even though I'm running 2 debuffers myself, they're not properly trained. And by that I mean Nice Nature needs more speed to hit the eyes at least, and then Haru Urara is missing a lot of debuffs. I'm missing a lot of red skills basically. So as the run starts, again, a lot of things can go wrong, basically. I get rushed and don't proc any stamina skills on gold chip, which I'm going to be actively trying to watch. If we don't proc any of our gold recovery skills, we run out of stamina, and we, depending on the RNG of the last spurt, unless I've been misunderstanding the whole time, which I've misunderstood a few things, but the final spurt and how your Musume decides which speed to run into, or to run at, or to try and reach, is something completely different. But or something that I've particularly looked into, so that I can remember off the top of my head to the conceptually. But basically, we won't have enough stamina for the final spurt, which will result in very bad things happening. Now, it could still be okay, but if I were to flip, alright, if I flipped a coin here, I would say I can win this, but again, too many things can go wrong. So if I had to put my chips down, yes. If I were trying to theoretically calculate the odds of me winning gold chip, really, because obviously the other 2 are debuffers, then it would be like 25%, which is near the win rate I assumed. I said that my win rate was going to be 30% in this Champions Meet. I'm going to assume that's the case. I think, did we proc Swinging Mace? I saw a Go Home Specialist. If we don't proc the other 2, then I have a lot higher of a chance of losing, as Haru Urara runs way in the back there. But hey, surprise, you don't need, and we do proc Maestro there, or actually, that was the other gold chip. My gold chip procs Maestro. Now, anything else happens, my gold chip was not, I think you have to be 6 or below to proc? Am I going crazy? No, half. I'm going crazy. Anywho, self-proclaimed gold chip enjoyer, by the way. But regardless, as we near the final, I wasn't actually going fast forward. It's fine. We did proc all 3 recovery skills. So the question is, do we get blocked? The other question is, do we have enough time to reach the front? Usually do, with this distance, even though Haru Urara is kind of stretching out the things above here. I'll leave the things. Also, quick note for any trainer who didn't know, you can click on the screen and it removes the yellow arrows, whether you're trying to get a screenshot, usually a screenshot, or you're trying to do anything else. But as we sit here, so as we may have noticed, yeah, my Nice Nature is too far back. You don't need the stamina as much, you just need the speed, because you'll run out of stamina, but the speed you need to stay ahead to hit other Musume with Mystifying Eyes, which is a mistake I made, but I didn't want to really train anymore. So, did I proc straight away Spurt? If we didn't, we lose this, by the way. I didn't even check if the other gold chip had straight away Spurt. I didn't check the other gold chip's speed as well. So, yeah, we could very well lose this. So, let's find out. Yeah, even if this gold ship loses all of her stamina, I'm pretty sure I lose this. So, without further ado, and at a certain point we are going to change to horizontal or to vertical orientation. The reason for that is I want thumbnails. Again, I'm pretty sure you get angles from the race that you wouldn't see with horizontal and vertical. So, and obviously horizontal looks nicer on a full screen, but as we sit here and hope for the best. Oh man. Yeah, and if that gold ship had 1200 speed, 1200 stamina, I lose as well, by the way. Even if they don't have acceleration. Acceleration does grant you a lot more distance, but if they have like 4 to 5 velocity skills at the end there, in the final leg and final spurt, then I lose, basically. So a lot can go wrong. But again, I normally just want to speed through this again. We know what's going to happen, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this looks proper. And off we go. 3 fronts, huh? So we could just end up getting blocked as well. That's the all other thing about running end closes. Saiyan Sky, McQueen, and I didn't see who else. So let's keep an eye out. Again, if nothing else, I want to try and learn as that gold chip procs cooldown immediately. I want to see how many stamina skills I proc while also commentating. There's Go Home Specialist, uphills and downhills, but again, if for those who didn't hear the first video, my training was not great. There are other things that happen. There's Swinging Maestro, by the way. I finally get Anchors away, but I don't know if it matters. Basically looking for the 3 stamina recovery skills and then straightaway spurt, which I also didn't proc here. I didn't proc all 3 stamina skills, so this is going to be very, very, very interesting. We're going to reach the front. The question afterward is, do we lose more stamina? And do we get anything else? So just speaking really quick, I really would have liked to have gotten 4 gold stamina recovery skills with 1 to 1100 stamina. You just need it. This is the well, actually, isn't there a 3600 one? But either way, 3200 meters or more, you really, really, really want all the stamina you can get. So that I think we barely lost there. So shrug. Oh man, fun times. And yes, second place is losing as well. So I don't remember how many second. Well, actually, the statistics show you how many second place and third place finishes you do. But regardless, again, this could be another no-win race, no-win entry. But then I can win like 3 to. Again, you can win 3 runs in 1 entry. That's all you need. So you literally can have a, what would that be? A 15% win rate and reach the finals, Group A, and then win your race as well. So it's something interesting to look at. Whether you're 100% win rate or 50, yeah, if you can have, I think that's correct, right? You can have a 15% win rate, because that would be 6 races. But if you win 3 races in 1 entry among both rounds, so that's 6 wins out of 40 races that you just need to win. Also, we'll take a quick look at number 1 favorite again. Hey, it's a Tokai Teo. So, that stamina looks really oof. If you don't proc any stamina skill, I think you just lose, right? And I did take Lone Wolf, so I'm also quote-unquote debuffing there as well, but, I mean, again, you want to, as other trainers may have said before, you want to run into trainers that you want to win against most trainers who will probably not have not perfect, but have trained properly. Whether it's because, usually it's a matter of RNG. There's only so many runs it can do unless you start burning TP, especially with carrots, which I don't assume a lot of free-to-play, me included, will be likely to do. Or you just get really, really lucky and you get a good run. But yeah, in particular, all 3 late starts, by the way. For me in particular, I think the odds of that are literally, like, they can't be any higher than 33%, right? Based on how I understand Musume do their starts, there is basically a range in which they start the race. And so that's where I'm pulling. It can be more than 30%. If it is more than 30% for each Musume, because it's not based on, well, it's based on luck, but it's not based on any stats. Also, keep in mind, these two, Nice Nature and Haru Urara, have at least 900 wits, bare minimum. I'm pretty sure one of them has 1200, but you get the point. And you still get rushed here, because I think the rush for 12, chance for rushing at 1200 wits is there 12%? I can't remember. But either way, it's very low. So already, if these were two aces instead, man, because our wits would be lower, obviously, because we're not trying to proc skills. Also, I was not watching the things. Another thing I like to look at when I go do my other entries for today is whether or not any Naruto Taishins I run into run Sleeping Lion. I think for the most part, most Naruto Taishins are not running Sleeping Lion because, you know, they're scared of running to a Haru Urara, which I think so far, I think I'm the only Haru Urara I've seen. I know other people are running them. I've seen them based on other trainers' videos, streams, so on and so forth. I've seen a few Haru Uraras, but I have not seen one myself. And if I have, I've probably forgot. But that just goes to show how few people are running Haru Urara, whether they're doing serious or not. I think I've only saw 2 Haru Uraras that have been trying to run seriously in honor of, obviously, the real Haru Urara. I wasn't watching my stamina recovery perks, so this is going to be interesting. But let's just move on here. Basically, when we see straightaway Spurt is when we reach the final leg and final Spurt. So now at this point we could just be getting blocked as well. We're kind of running towards the outside, but I don't think it matters too much when we are if we don't proc all the stamina recovery skills, which I think may have happened here. But if the other Musume don't have enough stamina, hey, this anime Tokai Tail seems to be the only one. So let's see what happens here. We do pull forward. Again, the angle looks really, really close, but whoever's on the outer side, basically if whoever's on the outside coming in looks like they're the same, they're actually ahead, based on how the camera angles look. Now, do we run out of stamina and lose to someone else? That's a completely different story. Especially if I did not run... Well, actually, are there any debuffers? Let's find out. No, we kept our stamina. So, that's the most important part of the debuffers' jobs, because... as you, the trainer, may have heard before, running out of stamina at the end there? Really? Wait, what? Oh no, okay, Group B. That's Group B. It said Group B. I was like, why did that appear? It said Group B. I can't read what's on screen. I was trying to commentate. I'll talk about what I was gonna talk about later. Final Spurt stamina, so we'll see. At least I made it into the finals, but whether or not we actually win the finals, whether it's Group A or Group B, is going to be a completely different story. So so that also means that you can have much lower, you can have a 10% win rate and reach the Group B finals, but you can have a 15% win rate and reach Group A finals. I think that's something that we should. I mean, everyone knows this instinctively, but I'm number 1 favorite. What's going on here? We'll look for... There's another Haru Urara, but then there's Agnes Tachyon and a Naruto Taishin. So let's take a quick look here, because I just want to see if I get to deny Sleeping Lion. Yes. No, yeah, you don't have enough stamina if that happens. So with only 1 gold recovery perk at 1200, I think you don't have enough, right? I'm pretty sure you don't have enough. I don't have anything pulled up in front of me, so let's take a quick look at this Agnes Tachyon. Tachyon and Creek should be able to survive. The question is, do they get to stay in first? Oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. I'm going absolutely crazy. Please, please. Did I skip over her? Also, that's right, mood is still a thing. So yeah, this should be one of the few Musume who can survive. I don't know why I'm looking at the inspirations, but let's just get into the race. I said I was supposed to switch to vertical. I did not, but we'll do that after this race, if we have another race left. I don't even know if I do. But regardless, I mean, I don't mind making thumbnails out of horizontal races. It's just the camera angle is not going to be the greatest. But yeah, on the topic of Maverik, that means my Haru Urara is the only one running front runner. So this is going to be a really this is actually the one time where we get to see what happens with the one front runner Haru Urara. But aside from that, yeah, so as we've noticed, everyone's running slower because my hey, we finally get to see what happened, or we finally get to see in practice. If you haven't seen it before, this is what happens when the one G turf and G frontrunner Haru Urara is the frontrunner in your race. So this is gonna look really interesting. This also, quote unquote, lowers the stamina requirement for everyone? Question mark. But yeah, it's not looking great. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. But Okay, but yeah, the topic of the final last leg. We can let this race run out. Final leg, final spurt, because it's gonna take me a while to explain. So for now, your Musume does not cannot change the target speed she's trying to reach. Again, I'm being very vague here, but let's just immerse ourselves for a second. She doesn't get to try and reach another higher max target speed when she procs a recovery perk. But on the flip side of that, if a stamina debuff hits her after an Musume has decided her max target speed for the final spurt, that's what results in you petering out at the end. But if there are no debuffers at all, which is not likely to happen in a lot of CMs, if not almost all of them, if there are no debuffs, then you won't normally see Musume quote-unquote run out of stamina, because they've already made the decision to run at a speed in which they won't run out of stamina, if possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but that's why you'll see that happen. You'll see any big increases in distance, and because due to stamina, happen at the final leg, as opposed to at the final spurt. Those two are different things in the race. Basically, this tick is the final leg, but that is not the final spurt. The final spurt happens in the later on in the final leg. Also, did I proc 3 stamina recovery skills? If I didn't, we have a much higher chance of losing. I would say more than 50% chance, although I'm pretty sure I usually have like a 30-40% chance of losing at base anyway. So let's find out. Didn't look at all the gold chips. One could just have 1200 stamina with 3 stamina recovery perks, and they will survive. Now, what else I get to do after this is a completely different story. Yeah, so All Seeing Eyes is not hitting anyone in pulling up in front, which are usually end closers, which results in issues that we run into. And I'm pretty sure because we didn't proc our stamina recovery perks, we don't get to run at a higher max speed. So yeah, that's all I have to say here. But yeah, off we go. But I will set this back to vertical, if nothing else. Whether it's the last race or not, doesn't really matter to me, because I want to switch it anyway. Oh my goodness, I didn't get to switch it at all. Well, thanks for the races. Good races. I need to train better. But if you didn't know the reason why my gold chip is the way she is, just know that I have 50%, 50 plus runs of gold chip for sure, in which I did not get a gold chip I needed. Also, that's going to look funny because you'll notice that the gold chip that I'm fielding here, I think was made 3 days-ish before the registration period of the CM. So basically, I think she's one of the first 10 gold chip trainings I did, in which I got S-Long, S straightaway spurt, but I could not get my stamina any higher. If I could have gotten her stamina higher, we would be in a lot better of a situation, but that didn't happen. So, if I can remember correctly, if not that run, then at least in other runs in which I got long S straightaway spurt, let's just say the stamina trainings didn't want to appear. Actually, I can take, I wanted to show you the exact training I did, so that should be at the end of this video unless I just forget, but we'll take a look at the gold chips at least, and then the Saiyan Sky, because I just want to see, yeah, that's not enough stamina, especially if you don't proc the stamina skills. As for this other gold chip here, can be enough stamina, at least for this lobby at least, but let's take another look at other things. That Grass Wonder is probably a debuffer, but I just want to look at things. Yeah, that's... If my gold chip doesn't have enough with 900, especially, yeah, 950-ish stamina, well, I have 900, but you get the point. Yeah, tragedy can happen. If for no other reason, then just having 1200 stamina is not enough. You need a gold recovery skill. I think you need at least 2, which is why you are recommended to have them. But yeah, let's find out. So no one else is running a Lone Wolf, which means I could have run Lone Wolf on my gold chip, but shrug. The kind of, I guess, small strategy behind that is that running Lone Wolf means that skill points that you probably could have put in to, say, something like right-handed or outer post proficiency, if you want to gamble. If you don't want to gamble, then I guess you could just take Lone Wolf if you have the stamina skill points to spare, but usually you don't have the resources to handle all of that, so if you have the resources or the luck, then yes, you do. But what I'm trying to say is you don't have enough skill points to take everything you want to take usually, because otherwise you take all the stamina skills you need. After that, you take all of the velocity and or acceleration skills you need. Prioritizing acceleration. Acceleration is very, very important. I think even just a white acceleration skill that procs at an opportune time grants you like what, 300 to 600 power? That's just based off the top of my head off of the calculation of how Musume accelerates and her power stat. So shrug. Also, we could just get left in the dust here by the Seiyun Sky, but because, yeah, again, the Seiyun Sky has 960 stamina and 2 gold recovery skills. If she doesn't proc them both, she peters out. On top of the fact that end closers and late surgers, but usually end closers in the CM, get to use their skills at the most opportune time. But again, anything can happen. Uma Musume has a non-0% chance of losing a race. Now, those odds lower down to like 2-ish% later on, or the more things are favored, especially in global server when we figured things out here. I didn't proc State Away Spurt. That makes me sad. Well, this is going to be an interesting race. I also think we didn't proc all 3. I saw a lot of stamina skills proc, but I don't know if they are the ones I care about. Yeah, we didn't proc Straight Away Spurt, so this is going to be interesting. This Ogre Cap could proc Triumphant Pulse. I didn't look at this Ogre Cap, but it could happen. Did we hit people with All-Seeing Eyes? If we did, that's gonna cause Uma Musume to peter out. Not that we're gonna reach Group A. This is our second race that we could win, so hey. But unless something strange happens, like we run out of stamina, I would say I win this race. But let's see what happens. We do cooldown, so we shouldn't run out of stamina, but we don't get to speed up anymore is the point. So hey. Oh, goodness gracious. Get drop kicked. But yeah, without further ado, not really much else to say. If you wanted to hear me talk about something else, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I will do the rest of my entries, and I'll let you know if I'm Group A or Group B. Because we will be reaching the finals. Now, whether it's Group A finals, Group B, let's find out later. But yeah, without further ado, nothing much else more to say. I've just been training for the next Champions Meet already. So as much as I want to do other fun stuff, yeah. If I can't do 50 runs and get the ace I want, how in the world am I going to be able to to make Uma Musume for other things, like Haru Urara Arima Kinen? But without further ado, yeah, again, just to at least show you what's been happening so far. Hey, maybe I get a good entry, but yeah, without further ado, not really much else to say. If you have anything to say, any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, feel free to leave something. I'll usually reply, unless I just tilt my head, or there's nothing else to add on to it. Because you could just say, Ganbare Golchi, and I'll be like, yeah. Also, I need to burn on my TP. But yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!